Welcome to The Explainer. So today we're going to unpack a geopolitical story that it sounds less like modern diplomacy and more like some kind of bizarre real estate deal. We're talking about the repeated U.S. proposal to just buy Greenland.
I mean, can you even buy a country? It's a question that sounds like it's straight out of a history book, right? Not something you'd see in a 21st century headline. And yet, back in 2019, and even more recently, the world was kind of shocked when this wasn't a hypothetical anymore. And the target? The world's largest island.
And how did Denmark react? With this one single word. Absurd. That was the response from Denmark's prime minister. And that one word, it pretty much ignited a diplomatic firestorm. When the U.S. proposal went public, this simple, really blunt dismissal set the stage for a major international blowup. Okay, so let's be super clear here. This was not a joke. It was a dead serious proposal coming from the highest levels of the U.S. government. And the rejection? Well, it led to a canceled state visit and a really significant break in transatlantic relations. This was a big deal.
All right, let's dig into this a little deeper, because here's the kicker. The idea of the United States buying Greenland, it's not new. Not at all. It's actually part of this long-standing American obsession with the Arctic that goes back well over 150 years. And yeah, this is not some new, crazy idea. Just look at this timeline. You can see a really clear pattern here. You've got Secretary of State Seward back in 1867 trying to flank Canada right after buying Alaska. Then you've got President Truman offering $100 million in gold after World War II. It's clear America has repeatedly seen Greenland as this huge strategic prize.
So what's the big deal? Well, this phrase from the Truman era just nails it. They called Greenland a stationary aircraft carrier. And that perfectly captures why it's been on Washington's radar for so long. It's all about location, location, location. Its position is absolutely critical for military control over the North Atlantic and the Arctic. It's basically a permanent, unsinkable base.
But, that historical interest, it's now being completely supercharged. Because today, Greenland's value is about way more than just military positioning. There's a whole new kind of gold rush happening, and Greenland is right at the epicenter of it.
So there are really three key things that have turned this island into a geopolitical hotspot. First, its location is still vital. But now, with the ice melting, it's opening up brand new, way faster shipping lanes. Think of it like a polar Silk Road. And the third thing, beneath all that ice lies a massive treasure trove of minerals that are absolutely essential for our modern world. For centuries, this was pretty much how everyone saw the world's largest island, right? Just a vast, empty, frozen wasteland. A huge, irrelevant block of ice at the top of the world. Basically impenetrable and not much use to anyone. But the reality? It couldn't be more different. See, beneath all that ice, you've got some of the world's largest untapped deposits of rare earth elements. We're talking things like neodymium, praseodymium, stuff that is absolutely crucial for, everything. From our iPhones and electric cars to the most advanced fighter jets and missile guidance systems. And this right here gets to the real strategic urgency for the United States. Because right now, China has a near monopoly on processing these vital resources. I mean, look at this chart, 90%. From a national security perspective, having to rely on your number one geopolitical competitor for the literal building blocks of modern tech and defense, that is a massive, massive vulnerability. Okay, so this brings us to the real heart of the conflict. Because this isn't just about resources or military bases. No, it's about two fundamentally different and totally incompatible ways of seeing the world, and even the very concept of what land is. So on one side, you've got this transactional worldview. Land is just a strategic asset, right? A commodity, something you can buy and sell in a real estate deal. But on the other side, you have the sovereign worldview of the Greenlandic people. And for them, the land isn't a commodity at all. It's their ancestral homeland. It's totally inseparable from their culture, their identity, and their right to decide their own future. And what happens when you actually ask the 56,000 people who live there what they think? Well, their answer is overwhelmingly clear. I mean, look at these numbers. A huge majority, 85%, are against any kind of U.S. takeover. They value their culture and their connection to Denmark way more than just a purely financial transaction. In fact, you could say the U.S. proposal completely backfired. Instead of making Greenlanders think about the benefits, it triggered this psychological effect called reactive autonomy. Basically, this external pressure to be bought didn't weaken their identity, it did the exact opposite.
It dramatically strengthened their sense of unity and the whole movement for self-governance. So yeah, this wasn't just some abstract clash of ideas. It had very real-world consequences. The diplomatic fallout was swift, it was severe, and it really shook the foundations of the entire Western alliance. The ripple effects were just immediate. First off, it seriously damaged relations with Denmark, a key NATO ally. It also raised some really awkward questions about unity inside NATO itself. I mean, can one member seriously try to buy territory from another? It also fueled Europe's push for what they call strategic autonomy, basically acting independently from the US. And it even prompted other allies like Canada and France to open up their own consulates in Greenland's capital, Nuuk, almost as a show of support for their autonomy.
And you gotta understand, this wasn't justified between governments. It soured public opinion across the entire continent. Polls showed these historic drops in how favorably people in Western Europe viewed the US. Why? Because a lot of Europeans saw the move as bullying, as destabilizing, and basically as a rejection of the whole rules-based international order.
So, in the end, the whole Greenland Gambit forces all of us to confront a really fundamental question. In an age where melting ice and resource competition are literally reshaping our world, are we going to be governed by transactions or by treaties? It's a huge test of whether our future will be guided by international law or just by pure strategic survival. Thanks for joining us for this explainer.